Hello and welcome. Today we will be visiting Silverdale Confederate Cemetery in Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's an archway you drive under to get back to the cemetery, and these signs are located on that archway. Please press pause so you can read them. In the cemetery, there's an audio box where you press buttons to hear about the history, and I'm just going to play that as the audio instead of telling y'all all about it. He does a terrific job of giving the history of the cemetery, and it's just a short drive back to the cemetery after you go under the archway. It's close to Interstate 75, so you will hear traffic in the background, and this area is growing quickly, so businesses are going up all around this little cemetery. I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to let the gentleman tell us about the cemetery while I walk around and I show it to y'all.
Welcome to the Silverdale Confederate Cemetery. The men buried here died in a hospital that was located behind the motels across Old Lee Highway in 1862. Efforts to re-identify the men by the veterans began in 1900. The stone walls were built in 1926 by the veterans and their sons. Chattanooga Area Relic and Historical Association has maintained the cemetery since 1979. We mow grass, raise flags, continue the search for the soldiers' identities, host events, and educate the public about this historic site. All are welcome here who enter with respect. This cemetery was started in August of 1862 by deaths at General Leonidas Polk's Hospital nearby. The men who died in this hospital through December 1862 are here. The hospital was moved to Cleveland, Tennessee at that time. Record from the Confederate quartermaster indicate that the men had a coffin and a headboard made of pine and that they stayed in tents. In 1900, Mr. William Standifer sent a letter to the Confederate veterans at Chattanooga to get care for this forgotten cemetery on his farm. The headboards had rotted away and no information could be found for the soldiers. In 1904, the veterans group purchased this plot for $75. In 1905, a barbed wire fence was erected around the cemetery, and in 1926, the stone walls were built at a cost of $2,000. By 1934, the Tennessee Highway Department had erected the concrete archway over the entrance drive from the highway. Very little care was given in the 40s and 50s. The cemetery was cleaned by the Kirkman High School Key Club in the summer of 1962. Again, little care was given for several years. A Chattanooga newspaper article on June 26, 1979 brought the cemetery to the attention of the Chattanooga Area Relic and Historical Association, who started to clean the cemetery and eventually became trustee for the cemetery. The flagpole, benches, tombstones, and soldier list are due to their continuing efforts. Several awards for scenic and historic preservation have been awarded for their work. Welcome assistance from the Run for the Wall motorcycle group and the Order of the Southern Cross have helped fund research and help maintain these grounds. The cemetery has applied for and received a nonprofit corporation status from both the state of Tennessee and the federal governments. The monument along the east wall of the cemetery was placed here at the request of the Order of the Southern Cross, an organization who was started in 1862 near this spot. The organization was started by Reverend Quintard, General Patrick Claiborne, and Bishop Leonidas Polk. This organization was a benevolent society to aid the plight of the soldiers who were identified in hospitals near here that needed help. This organization was finalized at Graysville, Georgia, and enlisted many more people besides the 3 that organized this organization in the beginning. This organization no longer has Confederate soldiers to help, but now is a benevolent society to do other projects to help Civil War sites, including ours. Please feel free to walk back and read the inscription on this monument that further explains the organization.
This is a nice and well-kept little spot of history. We hope y'all enjoyed the tour. Please join us again next time as we continue recording history one road trip at a time.